all these items at great prices, but definitely don't forget to ask about our stair lift.
Let us lift you to Independence Chattanooga Mobility.
If you've been in an accident with any of these types of vehicles, the time to act is now. Wedemark Keith has been holding negligent drivers and their insurance companies accountable for years. At Wedemark Keith, it's more to us. It's personal.
Do you have a favorite day of the week? Most of us do, and our next guest certainly does. His favorite day is Wednesday. I did not say Wednesday, I said Wednesday, as in let's have a win. Freddie Fri, aka Coach Freddie, says it's very important to put that win in Wednesday. He's a motivational speaker and joins us this morning. I'm so glad to talk to you.
I'm excited to be here, and hey, it's a great day to win, so hey, got to get up to go do it, right?
You know, I got a smile on my face when I was just reading about you this morning, because I feel like it's such an appropriate time for your message, because especially to young people, it feels like we live in a time where they hear a lot of, oh, I can't because, or I can't help it because. That's a really victimizing way to look at your life, don't you think?
1,000%. You know, a lot of days now we live in this microwave society, so everybody wants success really quick. And if they don't get it really quick, they feel like they're a failure. And what I try to tell people in general, but especially young people, you have basically two options. You're either designing a lifestyle you want to live or putting yourself in position to live in survival mode. Either way, you can overcome and achieve whatever you're trying to achieve, but you just have to understand that mistakes, setbacks, failures are all part of it. I coach basketball, and I always tell my players, you got to mess it up in order to get it right. Same thing holds true with life. You got to mess it up in order to get it right.
You also have to show up. So with your basketball analogy, you lose a game, it doesn't mean that you abandon what you've been working on. You just have to show up and do it again the next game.
That is so true. I coach two teams. I coach a group of 4th and 5th grade girls. And so I have to tell their parents all the time, this is a slow grow. We're going to learn fundamentally. We're going to lose some games. I put them in situations where they can face adversity, because to me, one of the reasons why I love coaching basketball is because it's like a microcosm of life. So many things in a game of basketball are things that people are going to, these student athletes are going to deal with in the real world.
Right.
And so I try to relay that message as much as I can. You're going to deal with adversity on the court. You got to be able to overcome it. You don't have time to whine, pout, and moan. You got to keep going and keep going and keep going until you achieve that win for that particular day.
I want you to have a chance to talk about your own personal story a little bit. Before you jump in, though, I do have this question for you. When you mentioned the girls' basketball team. So as much as you're coaching those girls, do you have to also coach their parents to say, kind of step back a little bit?
Yes. It's so funny because they want it, again, they think that as soon as they come out and practice, they're ready to play games. As soon as they play games, they're ready to score points. They're ready to be a great basketball player. And I have to tell them, listen, this is a slow grow. We just, hey, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Yeah. It's the same with the game of basketball. You got to take it one day at a time, and you'll start seeing, after you repetitively work over and over again, you'll start seeing the fruits of your labor. You start seeing the kids and the players start doing things that you've been working on. But it takes time, and you can't get it overnight. And so, yes, I have to coach the parents just as well.
Well, you obviously had an experience or two or three, you know, growing up. I think you lost your mom when you were just, what, 4?
4 years old. Yes, I did. That was, you know, it's so funny when you lose your, when I lost my mom at 4 years old, I didn't even understand what was going on. I remember being at the funeral and seeing people walk up to my mom and walk back crying. And I remember thinking to myself, why is everybody taking turns crying over my mom? And so you don't even know how it touches you. But as I got older, you know, I also do hip hop. I'm a hip hop artist, a founding father of hip hop in Oklahoma. And I wrote a song called Mama years ago. And I said, life is tough when you're missing mama. As a boy, I remember I was wishing mama. Wake up, thought you were sleeping, hope you listen, mama. Hear my cries, I can't remember even kissing mama. You know, you don't, as I continued to live my life, it started hitting me as I became older what I was missing not having a mom. You know, I was a shy, introverted kid. My dad did step up and took me in, but he wound up marrying a lady who became my stepmom. She never physically abused me, but it was kind of mental abuse. So I had to deal with that at home. And as you get older, you realize that, man, I am missing mom. You know what I mean? I am missing the mother's touch and that mother's love.
But what do you think it was? I lost my dad when I was 10, so some of the things
wow.
that you've been saying I can totally relate to. But what do you think it was that made you then, Freddie, keep trying for better as opposed to saying it's hopeless?
You know, it's so funny because I always tell people I feel like my mom is my guardian angel. And I feel like there were so many episodes in my life that could have took me down a different path, and I feel like she reached in and saved me from certain situations. I remember when I was like in the 6th grade, and I was, like I say, I was shy and I was introverted, and I used to get bullied. And I remember a group of guys started chasing me, and they grabbed me and they took me to the swimming pool. It was like this closed swimming pool across the street, but kids would sneak into the swimming pool, and they threw me in the water, and they was holding me under the water, and I just knew I was gonna die. At the last second, they pulled me up, and I remember they got off and ran off thinking it was funny, and I sat there on that pool stoop just crying and basically praying, asking God to give me some strength to be stronger and be able to face the things that I'm dealing with in my life, even at such a young age. And I think Mom, I think God, and I think just my resiliency helped me overcome everything that I ever faced in my life.
I wish that I had more time to talk to you. You obviously are so inspiring, and you're in the right line of work as a motivational speaker. If people want to find you, how do they find you?
You know, you can search any of the social media and just search Freddie Fri.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
I got hurt at work. My company said I